there, pen fans! I am Brian Goulet of GouletPens.com, and today I am going to be giving you a long overdue review of Diplomat's newest and arguably most popular pen, the Viper. This pen is a bit of a departure from Diplomat's other well-known pens, but they've really knocked it out of the park on this one. I'm a big fan. There are some cool things to get into with the Viper, most notably that sweet hooded nib and this new green color that just dropped. Now, maybe this is some recency bias, but this might be one of the coolest green pens that I think I've ever seen. In this video, I'm gonna be walking you through what makes the Viper so unique, do some writing samples, compare it to maybe some other pens that you might be familiar with, and then recommend some inks to match each of the 4 colors. This pen has been so popular, it's been out of stock for a long time. It's part of why I waited so long to make this video, but we finally got a decent amount of them. So I'm really excited to get a chance to share it with you, especially when you can actually get one. Now, Diplomat as a brand is really a metal pen brand. With the exception of the Magnum, everything they do is in metal, and the Viper here is no exception. Now with the Viper, you're getting an aluminum body that's been engraved with a diamond guilloche pattern on the barrel of the pen. Now touching it, you can definitely feel that there is a texture there, but the edges aren't sharp or anything. It's nice and rounded, so it's not a really bothersome texture. Even so, the grip is smooth, and that's the part you're gonna be touching the most. So even if you are kind of sensitive to texture, I still think you could use this pen and not be bothered by any of the texture. Now the aluminum here on this pen is plated in one of 4 different colors currently available: black, blue, brown, and the newest, green. Now a nice touch is you're also seeing matching plating on the trim of each of the pens to go with that body and cap. The trim is a bit shinier and the body is more of a matte finish, but it works really well together. There is a soft sliding magnetic cap that's easy to operate, even one-handed. It makes it a great quick draw pen, especially for short notes in meetings or if you're writing on the go. The cap posts on the back and fairly deeply, so you don't get a whole lot of added back weight to the pen if you write with it posted. Overall, the pen weighs 30 grams, which is substantial, but it's still very much in the comfort range for most writers. It's exactly what a Pilot Vanishing Point weighs, if you're familiar with that. And if you write with it unposted, then you're only holding 21 grams in your hand, which is about what the body of a Lamy Studio weighs. In the hand, the grip feels really good. It's a little over 9 millimeters in thickness at the grip, but there's a slight taper to it. It'll be comfortable in just about all hand sizes, I think. It's slightly thicker than a Lamy 2000 grip. Because the metal is coated and it's got a matte finish to it, it's not really slick, so you do get a pretty good hold on it. And since we're already right here talking about the grip, it's pretty hard not to notice that there's this teeny tiny little nib showing. Really, it's just the tip of the nib that you can see. This is what's known as a hooded nib. And frankly, they're just not all that common these days, even though I think they're awesome. Now, some benefits of a hooded nib, like this one, is that it keeps the nib from drying out, since it's not exposed much to air, which is really nice, especially while you're pausing in between your writing with that cap off. It's also good for those who tend to grip really close to the nib. There's less of a chance of getting ink on your fingers since there's less nib showing. The nib is made of stainless steel and so far has only been available in one nib size, which they call fine medium. The only other fine mediums that I usually see come from Japanese brands like Pilot, Sailor, and Platinum. And the Viper nib is gonna be slightly broader than the fine mediums coming from the Japanese brands. But it's not like you really get a choice, because if you want the Viper, then you get what you get and you don't throw a fit, as I used to say to my kids in their younger years. All right, so I've got my Diplomat Viper inked up here. I'm using the green one because it's the new hotness, but I put blue ink in it, so go figure. I've got Robert Oster Blue Water Ice in here. So let's see here. I think I'm gonna post it. It's very comfortable, posted like this. It sits nicely in my hand. So let's see here. Let's go with Diplomat Viper. That's an O. Very smooth. This is a fine medium. Pretty wet, it writes nicely. Very, very stiff nib, as to be expected. And then, yeah, there we go. And then, let's see here, get an idea of how wet it puts the ink down, just like so. I've inked up 2 other Diplomat arrows. I've got a fine and a medium nib. This is the fine nib. This is our mint. This is a special Goulet exclusive one. So if you're watching this video way in the future, this may not exist anymore. But let's see here, let's go Diplomat. I've got the same ink in all of these. Arrow, and this is a fine. It's actually not super different from each other, to be honest with you. And then, let's see here. Not worlds apart. So, you know, if you have an Aero Fine, that's probably going to be the closest to it. The medium, I know, is going to be definitely broader. Oh my gosh, yeah. Yeah, so if you're used to the Diplomat Aero Fine, then you'll be very comfortable with the Viper. And then just for kicks, I've got a Pilot. This is a custom Urushi Fine Medium. A little bit different price point of a pen, but why not? There we go. It's a little bit finer, especially if I'm writing really lightly. There's definitely some spring to this nib that if I pressed harder, it would put down more ink. But there you go. So pretty similar to an Aero Fine, about like a Pilot Fine Medium. Now to fill the pen, it's pretty much like all other Diplomats, meaning that it's a standard international cartridge converter. And it comes with both a cartridge and a converter. The pen is easy to fill and easy to clean too, especially with your trusty bulb syringe. The only thing with the hooded nib is that it's all pretty well covered. So if you're writing with a pigmented or a shimmering ink, you know, one of those more high maintenance inks, and especially if it dries out in there, it's gonna be a little harder to clean and give a thorough cleaning since it's so covered up. The nib doesn't disassemble out of the pen. I mean, I guess you could if you were determined enough, but it's not really meant to be user serviceable. So really your option for cleaning is to just repeatedly flush through it. Or I guess you could use an ultrasonic cleaner, you know, but with regular use of standard inks, you really aren't gonna need to do anything special for cleaning. You just flush it like you would any other cartridge converter pen. Now to give a sense of the size and the features of the pen, I thought it'd be helpful to take a look at a couple other pens that I think maybe you would be comparing it to, or at least might be a good baseline for you. So let's do that. Lamy 2000. Now the overall size and shape is somewhat close-ish, but it's really the hooded nib that makes these two the most comparable in my mind. With the 2000, the price of the pen is more than double the Viper, so it's not really something that you're probably debating between choosing the two, but you know, the Lamy 2000, it's a little bit lighter, saves some weight, it's got that 14 karat gold nib, and it's a piston filler, and it is more easily disassembled because you can pull the nib out of there. But the Viper's got to beat on value, and it's much easier to flush it out. Plus, you get the option for cartridges, which can definitely add some convenience. Diplomat Aero. Now these pens really aren't that similar at all, but it's Diplomat's most popular pen. So I wanted to show these two side by side. And other than being metal and having the name Diplomat on them, there's not that much that's similar between these two pens, but they're both great capping pens. And since this is a popular Diplomat pen, I thought it would be nice to see it next to each other. Lamy Studio. The steel nib studios are pretty close in price, and they've got a similar kind of torpedo shape that's not all too different from the Viper. They both have that matte metallic finish on them, which I love. But with the Viper, you get kind of a more interesting look with the diamond engraving on there. Plus, it's a huge win for me, is that coated metal grip. It's not as slippery as the one on the Studio. As I've shown already, there are 4 colors: black, blue, brown, and green. So here they are all together. You know, they're great colors, all on the deeper, kind of darker side, very much like earth tones. So while we're looking at the colors, I'll go ahead and recommend a couple of inks that I think would be good to consider matching each pen color, since, you know, that's part of what's fun about fountain pens. So the Black Viper, I would say Noodler's Black, Pilot Iroshizuku Takesumi, and Platinum Carbon Black would all be easy recommends. Now, Platinum Carbon Black, it's pigmented, it's gonna be a little higher maintenance, but these are really popular inks and would all go well with the pen. For the green one, I would recommend Monteverde California Teal, Robert Oster Deep Sea, and Diatramentis Mint Turquoise. Nothing crazy with these inks, they're just all great looking greens that are similar to the pen. For the brown one, let's take a look at Pilot Iroshizuku Yamaguri, Diamine Cocoa Shimmer, and Lamy Topaz. Now the interesting one here would be Cocoa Shimmer. It's obviously a shimmer ink, so that could get interesting. For the blue one, Pilot Iroshizuku Tsukiyo, Diamine Majestic Blue, and the Jacques Bon Kyanite du Nepal, which is a shimmering ink as well. They all look really good. So what'll a pen like this set you back? Well, the MSRP on it is $125, though we'll have it at Goulet Pens for $100 even. Thank you so much for spending time with me today. I appreciate you, and right on.